Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Friday, August 14th, 2026, halfway through the month. Time just zips right by. It's amazing. Anyway, we've got two cute things to show you today. I hope you're going to pop on. I know that Beth isn't. Beth is on her way to, I forget where she's going. Whoops, I have to have a drink. It's my Ani Palmer iced tea. Black tea and lemonade mixed. It's delish. I love it. Anyway, it's almost 10 o'clock and we will get started, but I've got two cute cards to show you. And I did find the name of the demonstrator who made that beautiful Christmas card that we're going to make today. Her name is Stacy Cogswell. And her address is mystampinpad.com. I think she's in Canada. Anyway, but it is 10 o'clock, so let us start. Good morning, officially, everybody. Here I am in Franklin, Massachusetts, this beautiful, beautiful summer day. It's a lovely day outside. And so let's get started. Let me show you what's going on today. So these are the cards that I put on my newsletter this week. And as I said just a minute ago, I did find the name of this demonstrator who made this. This is Stacy Cogswell. And her blog or her address is mystampinpad.com. And I think she's from Canada, but she made this beautiful card. And of course, you know how I am about geometrics. I love the shapes and I love the pattern, the template and everything. So we're going to make that. And then we're going to start with a Halloween because Halloween is coming up quickly, as they all do. So this is our first Halloween card. Now next week, I'm going to do a Halloween card with a spinner attachment to it. And it's stinking wicked cute, but it's a little bit more in depth as far as creating the cards. So that's why this week we're doing one that's relatively simple. So let's get started. And if anybody's there, please do pop on. I don't see anybody's name yet, but I hope you can pop on and say hello. So let's start. I think what we'll do is let's start with the Christmas card. So let me get this out of the way. Let me get my sample out of the way and bring everything in that I need. And for this, let me pull this up here. For this card, the base of the card is Secret Sea. Again, another favorite color of mine. I absolutely love it. It's reminds me of the Mariana Trench. I've told you this story many times about my middle grandson, Johnny, who loves the ocean, and the Mariana Trench was something that he was pretty involved with when he was in school. So anyway, that's this base. And to this base, I'm going to type, what I did was I took a piece of shimmery white cardstock. Now this was something that, we don't have this anymore, but I don't know if you can see it or not. But this is really, let me see, pop this over on this side. Can you see the shimmer? It's really subtle, but it's elegant. And I thought it would be really pretty to use this for this Christmas card. And then what I did was I ran it through the new embossing folder, which is called Swirl Designs, which is, hold please. I thought I had it right here. Let me see. I must have left it over at my Big Shot station. Hold on. Hold please. Here it is. I got it. I'm coming back. Here it is. It's called Swirls of Magic, and I love it because it has a lot of flexibility. This embossing folder can be used for so many different things. It could be used for July 4th, for Christmas, birthday, anniversary, any kind of celebration. I love it. So what I did was I ran this piece through, and this is what it came up with. Isn't that pretty? So now I shall apply some adhesive. And let me get my little silicone pad here. And I am going to make sure that I have plenty of adhesive on this because, as I said, it's very, very detailed, this die. And I'm going to pop it on just like this. Equidistant, east and west and north and south. Perfect. Then the next thing I did was I took a panel of the Secret Sea. And this panel, let me bring this in here, right here, and show you. This panel is 1 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Now onto this, I also took 3 pieces of the cardstock, the shimmery cardstock, because it's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's really, really pretty. Let's see if I can bring that up, whoops, a little bit closer. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a lovely shimmer to it. And these are squares that are 1.5 inch, 1 5/8 of an inch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these to this panel. And the first one I'm going to put on, it doesn't matter if top or bottom, but what I want to do is I make sure that I get it on evenly, east and west, north and south, because the spacing is important. Now, you don't have to necessarily space it like this. If you wanted to offset it, you certainly could. It's completely up to you and your eyeballs. There we go. Let me get that little piece of adhesive off. Let me get another one in here. This paper is so pretty. We don't sell it anymore. I wish we did. But you know, you could use, you know what you could use? I bet you could use the shimmery stripes one. All right, so now this one is going to go on the bottom. Whoops, I got a little bit of adhesive here. Not to worry, I'm going to take care of that. All right, that's going to go like this. Perfect. And then I'm going to take my little adhesive remover and pull that little piece of adhesive right off. There we go. Okay, so now I shall add some adhesive to this, and we'll get this put on. And then, good morning, Jan. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's so nice to have you with me this morning. I already got a little message from Beth. Beth's on a little trip, and so she's not going to be with us today. I understand that, but I'm so glad you popped on. Thank you very much. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing much better. I hope you're improving as the days pass with your physical therapy. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking 3 pieces of Designer Series paper. One is from A Stitch Season. The other is from, let's see, Violet Dreams and Lovely Blossoms. I could have taken it all from A Stitch Season, but I didn't have enough of that paper left because I've been using lots and lots of this cardstock. Here's what I've got left. And so what Stacy did was she used this piece, she used this piece, and then she used another one. Where is it? Anyway, it's another piece of Secret Sea, but I didn't have enough for my class, so I just went through all my designer paper. Yes, you are representing my Canadian family. Thank you so much. So, and I appreciate that, Jan. You're very, very faithful, you and Beth, and I appreciate it a lot. So what I did was I took pieces of Secret Sea from other designer packets, and it worked out well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and I'm going to put the star one in the middle. How pretty is that? Gosh, I love this color. It's so pretty. And this, I'm going to put this at the top like that. And then this one. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. That's excellent. And then this one, like this. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, perfect. Now, the next thing I shall do is I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this, and we're going to get this applied to the base of the card. Easy, easy, easy. Like this. And you notice I'm putting a little bit of extra adhesive on because, again, this embossing folder has lots of contour to it, and I want to make sure that it sticks very, very nicely. All right, so I'm going to bring this in like this. Perfect. There we go. And I'm going to press it down. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take another piece of the Secret Sea, and this is from it's an old retired stamp set. It is called, what is it called? It's a bunch of dies. It's around here somewhere. Wait a minute, I've got it on my little list here. It is called All That Dies. This is a banner from All That Dies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss it. So I'm going to take my little rosin pad here, powder it. I feel like a baseball pitcher right now. That, and then I'm going to take some Versamark, and I'm going to take the stamp, and this stamp says "'Tis the Season." And that is right here. 'Tis the Season, and I'm going to put it right on I have to move this down just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. All right, 'tis the season. And then I'm going to take my white embossing powder. Let me get this out of the way, get this out of the way, get this out of the way, that out of the way, this out of the way. Here we go. My white embossing powder. And sprinkle some on. Looks good to me. Then let's move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring in my heat tool, but you know what? I better get my tweezers because this is a small piece of paper. I thought I had my tweezers out here. You should see my desk. It's a, whoa, 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 whoa. I almost toppled us over. Okay, and I'm gonna do it again. Wait a minute, hold on for 1 second, folks. This is crazy. Okay, here we go. Oops, let me fix us back up again. All right, sorry about that. All right, now I'm gonna heat set this. So give me a second to get this heat set. Still a little crooked, I'll fix it. My heat tool is just heating up a little bit. And you can't see it because it's on a different plug. There we go. Okay, all done. Sorry about that. Normally I have my Acron stand anchored down with a weight. And this morning I just tried to reconfigure it a little bit because I'm always trying to finagle the bagel to get it perfectly straight. But anyway, it's fine, don't worry. Okay, so now that this is done, I'm going to take this cute little punch and the slit punch. This is an oldie but a goodie. And I'm going to add a little hole right here because we need something to pass this ribbon through. Do you have a piece of Night of Navy to put aside beside the so I can see the difference in color? Yes, Jan, I can. And a lot of people ask that. Hold on, I'll get it right now. It's a, you know, you don't think it is different, but it is. Hold on. Night of Navy. Let me pull that up. Right here. All right, here we go. Here's Night of Navy. And here is Secret Sea. Whoops. See the difference? At first, you don't think there's if you have the two packages out, you think, oh, this is Night of Navy. It's not. This is Night of Navy, and that's the Secret Sea. I wanted to call it the Mariana Trench. But anyway, that's the difference. Okay, so now I took a piece of this gorgeous ribbon. I love this white satin ribbon with a silver trim. And I'm just going to push this through like this. And then I'm going to take this piece of silver, which I absolutely love. This is a silver metallic. And what did I just do with my tweezers? You know, sometimes you think you're losing your marbles, and I do think I'm losing my marbles. I don't know what I did with it. It was right here. I just had it a second ago. Oh, well. Anyway, I'm going to take this ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to take this piece. And if I had my tweezers, I would have the tweezers hold this tightly for me, but I'll let my fingers do the walking here. And I'm just going to bring this in like that. And I'm going to tie it one more time because I want to get this nice and flat. And I want to make sure it stays nice and secure. This is the dumbest thing since sliced white bread. I just had those tweezers a second ago. All right, there we go. I like the way that's looking. There. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my snips and I'm going to snip and I'm going to snip here and then I'm going to come in and snip and snip. I might have to snip a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see if that's an appropriate size. Wow, there is a difference. Isn't it crazy? It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take some dimensionals and I'm going to put like probably 4 on here. There we go. All right, now I'm going to bring back my card and I'm going to get this on easy. Easy, easy. Isn't this pretty though? It really is. And it's very, very different, very avant-garde. I like it. Now I'm just going to center it so that it touches the bottom two panels right here. And I'm going to have a little bit of the white showing underneath like that. Perfect. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is take some glue dots. Now I know I'm a glue dot nut. I like glue dots. And what I'm going to do is take a glue dot and I'm going to put one about right here. And then I'm going to pop this off so that I can anchor this part of the white satin ribbon down. I just want to make sure it stays where it's supposed to. And I'm going to take another one and I'm going to pop it up like about right here. And I'm going to take this off and I'm just going to anchor that down. Perfect. Now, I don't think I have to anchor this, the silver metallic ribbon. That looks fine. Perfect. All right, now let's get the inside done. I'm going to take the inside and I am going to stamp it. Let's see. I am going to use this really pretty Sending Warm Wishes This Christmas. Now, this is one from the A Stitch Season Bundle Suite, which I've used quite a bit. I actually love it. I think, first of all, you know I'm a font lady. I love fonts. I love the way they look. I'm totally enamored with people who have that ability. Thank you, Jan, to come up with making the fonts beautiful. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to ink it up and then I'm going to stamp it right here. Perfect, lovely. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cute little snowflake stamp, which is part of A Stitch Season. And there is one of my hairs from my head on it. How did that happen? I just saw that right there. There we go, I got it. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this. We've done this before. I'm going to just take this and stamp it like this. There, how pretty is that? I think it's really pretty. And then the envelope is going to get the same treatment. And I'm going to do another one because I forgot to do one for my sample. So here's my sample card envelope. There we go. So that is that. Let me get this out of the way. Then I'm going to put some adhesive on this and get this put in. And we're almost done because, of course, you know we have to have some embellishments. And this is our basic white cardstock. This is not shimmery white. Okay, this is going to go in like this. And it's so different too, Jan. It's, you know, not your traditional garden green and real red, which I also love. However, I also like to do different cards as well. Let me get that little piece of adhesive removed right there. Perfect. Okay, there is that. There's the card. Now, let's talk about embellishments. Oh, and I did actually, yeah, okay, we're good. All right, so now here are my embellishments. These are the iridescent pearls, the basic pearls, which is an oldie but a goodie, but I absolutely love them because it does have a little bit of iridescence to it. But these are the stars that come with the Halloween set. And I thought, you know what? How stinking cute are these to use with this because it matches. So let's just bring in a few of these stars. These are the foam stars, and I'm just going to put a couple on. I know I went overboard, but you know what? You can go overboard. It's okay. And look at, see, it's got that pretty little shine to it. I'm going to add one more down here. One more down here, like right here. And then I'm going to take some of the pearls too. And I know this is probably overkill, and maybe somebody doesn't want to do as many as I've done, which is totally fine. That's why we have options. You can choose what you want to do. Make it your own design. I'm going to put one there. And then I'm going to probably put one more. It has to be an odd number, though. It can't be even. You know how I feel about that. You know, I think I'm going to put it, yeah, I think I'm going to put it right here. No, I think I'll put it here. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we have to have one more. You know what? I think I'm going to put a big pearl, like right here. Right there. And there you have it. There is our first card. Done deal. What do you think? I know, I think it's an elegant card too, Jan. Oh, you know, the other thing I did do, let me just take my Winky. I did go ahead and wink up some of the other stars just to give it a little bit of more pizzazz. And you know, you can do that if you want, you don't have to. but because I like glisten and shine and sparkle, and it's a festive card, so I think, you know what, we'll just add a little bit more Wink of Stella, because we can. What do you think? And that is our first card. Done deal. And then the inside. Warmest wishes, sending warmest wishes this Christmas. 'Tis the season. I love it. Okay, so there's that. All right, so now let's bring back our Halloween card. Boo to you, everybody. Boo to you. Halloween's a fun event for so many people. And so it's time to get our Halloween card started. And as I said earlier, next week we're going to do one with a spinner card. I saw one that was made, I forget the woman's name. I do have that. I'll put it on my newsletter this week. But she used the Everyday Arches, and the card is absolutely so fun, whimsical, but it's got a bat that spins around. So next week we're going to do that. But today, let's do this. Now, let me bring everything that I need here. And the first thing is pumpkin pie, because this is the base. So I already went ahead and stamped my little message on the back, my name and everything. And the message that says, love what we do, share what you love, which I love, love, love. We've had that for so many years. And I put it on all my cards. I don't put them on my sympathy cards, but I do put them on every other card that I make, because the message is quite clear and succinct. All right, so there is that. Then the next thing, if you notice on this card, I use the same embossing folder. I love it because it's got such flexibility. So here is my embossing folder, and I didn't use shimmer paper on this. It's just the regular paper, regular or basic white. So let me get this here, and let's get some adhesive on this. Again, another embossing folder that has a lot of use. A lot of potential use. So we're going to put this on like such, east and west and north and south. There we go, perfect. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I probably should show you. This is from the Oh My Fright bundle. Look at how cute this is. Look at those, look at that goblin. And the cats. So cute. This cat hiding underneath the witch's hat, and the bats and the spider web and the messages and the bats. And then of course it's got great dies to go with it. And I used quite a few of these dies for this card. So let me just show you. The first thing is I took the tree and I cut the tree out. Here it is. Perfect. So now we're going to put this tree on, and I am going to use Tombow. I do love Tombow. I say it a million times. I like most of our, I like all of our adhesives. What am I saying? Most. I love them all, actually. And I'm just going to put little dabs of it here and hither and yon. It doesn't really, I want it to obviously be secured to the base, but I don't have to cover it. And I do have a little handy wipe available in the event that I get a little bit of Tombow where it shouldn't be. But I'm just going to tap this down like that, easy peasy. And then the next thing I'm going to do is take a piece of the designer paper from the Oh My Fright bundle, which I absolutely love the paper, and it's so many different options. Here it is. This is the one that matches very closely to the embossing folder, so I decided to put that on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece right on here using my snail. And actually, you know what, before I do that, I'm just going to trim this off. This is, I'm going to take my little trimmer and make sure I get it exactly right. So this is 4 inches exactly. Let me bring my trimmer in. I love my trimmer. Jan, do you have this trimmer? This is a great trimmer. I absolutely love it. Now, I've got another piece for another card. All right, we'll add a little bit of adhesive to this. How cute is this going to be? And then we'll bring this in, and this is going to cover the base of that tree nicely. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, like this. Okay, then what I did was I took some of the designer paper and I cut out 3 of the little kitties. Now these 2 kitties actually have dies to cut them out. I used an empty Wink of Steel to paint Tombow on small pieces. That's an excellent suggestion, Jan. Absolutely. I've started to do that too. And you know what? when my Tombow runs out, when it runs out as far as my ability to squeeze any more out, I take it and I cut it in half. Wait a minute, let me just show you what I do here. I cut it in half with my utility scissors, and then I've exposed the inside of the Tombow container, and there's gobs and gobs and gobs of Tombow left. So I use a Q-tip or my Wink of Stella, an empty Wink of Stella brush to get it out and use it. And then I just cover, if I have leftover adhesive, which I normally do, I'll take a piece of saran wrap and put it to cover it up so it doesn't dry out. It's great. It's being very resourceful. Anyway, so I cut these little guys out from the designer paper with the dies. This little person had to be cut out by Fussy Cut, but no big deal. It's fine. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to put this little kitty right down here. How cute is this? Look at that little expression on that face. Wait a minute, I'll show you again. How cute. Oops. No problem here. I pulled that up too quickly. There we go. But look at that expression here on that little kitty's face. Sweet and content, happy, 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 happy to be having a little nap. So I'm going to put little kitty here. And then these two little ones are going to get put on with dimensionals. We're going to pop these guys up because they're like action figures. One of them is just jumped from the ground up because he probably saw a witch flying through the sky or a bat. All right, and you know what? I'm going to take my little snips and I'm going to cut this in half because I want to have a half of a dimensional on his tail. Whoops. Right like this. Perfect. And I might as well put this on. Okay. There we go. Make sure it's fine on the outside. It is. So let me get these off. I do that too with the empty Tombow container. Have a trimmer that is Fiskars that I got before Stampin' Up. That's a great idea. We're so resourceful, Jan. It just makes sense. You know, why would you waste all of that? It's like, you know, wasting all of the edges of your dimensionals. I mean, they're serviceable. Why would we waste that? I'd rather spend my money on other stuff. Okay, so here's this little kitty. This is the kitty sleeping, another kitty sleeping. This one's sleeping on the witch's hat like such. And then this one is the one that just jumped. And I'm going to put this little kitty right here like this. How cute is that? And this is going to anchor down this branch because, and see, this branch is up too, but it doesn't matter. The trunk is nice and secure on my cardstock. Then the next thing was I took the word Happy Halloween and stamped it in pumpkin pie on a piece of white. And then I added some pumpkin pie to the background just to give it a little bit of contrast. So this is going to go on right up here like this, and I'm going to put it under the tail just a little bit. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Perfect. And then I took these stupidly cute, that's a dumb thing to say, but look at these bats. These are die cut, and they actually come, it's very nice because it's one die, but you cut 3 of them out. Whoops, the eyeballs didn't pop out. Let me pop those eyeballs out. Look at how cute these are. These bats. I love bats. We have bats in our yard, and at night, when I'm out there swimming at night, they come, they swoop down and get all the mosquitoes. Bats are such a good animal to have in your yard because they eat all kinds of bad things. So here are my bats, and now I'm going to add some adhesive to these guys. And this year, I felt very lucky this year. This is the first year in a number of years that we actually have fireflies. I love fireflies. All right, now there's a little bit of adhesive here in the center of the eyeball, so I'm just going to put my pick tool in and twist it around so that that adhesive goes to the back of the bat. All right, so this one is going to go right up here like that. And then, whoops, come here, you. And this one, let me make sure the eyeballs are all clear. They are now. There we go. And this little bat is going to go up in this little corner right here. Do you know we can spend? Yes. I wish we sold it again. I get it from Amazon. I have to say, I do get it from Amazon. It's called, you know, it's iridescent ice or dazzling diamonds. It's not embossing powder. It's an embellishment that you can use, which I will be using on this card as well. All right, now this little bat is going to come right here. I think right here, like this. Perfect. There. Now, of course, we need some Winky. Here, whoops, wrong Winky. I've got so many Winkies over here that have that are designated for so many different things. Because what I do is I'll take my Winky after it's almost finished, and then what I do is put alcohol in it. I take the nib out with some delicate tweezers, and then I add a color to it, an ink refill to it, so that I can use it. And you'll be surprised at how much extra life you get out of that Wink of Stella. All right, so there's that, and there's this one. Look at how cute. Wink of Stella makes everything pop. Let me see if I can get this one's, we'll run it. Whoa! Well, you got a little glob there. See, it's really good that I put that on my grid paper instead of on top of my design area, because then I would have a big glob of Winky, which in many circles would be okay, but I don't want that kind of a mess. There we go. Look at that. It just adds so much. And then, with this being still wet, and let's give this little calico kitty. I didn't know, but calico cats are always female. At least that's what I've heard. We had a calico cat at one time. There we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of color just to the tree, like this, a little bit of Winky. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iridescent ice and just give this little sprinkle like that. And as I said, every single week, there's just that static magnetic quality that allows it to stay on, even though there's really no adhesive to secure it, but it adds a little bit of funness. Now, if you'll notice, where is my other little, where's my bats? The Oh My Fright bundle has a really cute embellishment. They're little bats. And here they are right here. Look at how cute these are. These are adorable. There are no mosquitoes in Victoria where Beth lives. You can't walk from your car into the house. Oh my gosh. Oh, and you don't have bats there. That's too bad. I love it. The bats just swoop down. They open their mouth and they get all of those mosquitoes and other nasty bugs as well. But here are, look at how cute. These are called adhesive bat ghosts and dots. Look at how cute. Look at the bats, look at the little hobgoblins. So what I did, if you notice on my sample, there is one little ghost right there. So I'm going to put another little ghost on here. I don't know why I didn't open this up and cut it right, but that's okay. All right, so I am going to take another little ghost, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it right here. Perfect. Oh, you know what? I just noticed this ghost's eye is not clear. I mean, it is clear. Well, that's crazy. So let's see if we can take a marker. Let me see what we can do. Let me see if I can get a marker here. Let me see. Ooh, this is Secret Seed. Let's see if we can possibly make this eyeball. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's funny. It came from the factory without two eyes, which I could have left him, you know, because I'm sure there are ghosts that don't have two eyes. But anyway, there it is. The Secret Seed just added that. So there is that part. And then the envelope is, where's my envelope here? Oh, the inside. Here's my inside. I took a piece of the white and I just put Boo to You, and I added the three bats, the bat stamp. And I'm going to take that bat stamp and I'm actually going to use that on the envelopes as well. So here is this, and here is this. I really need a bigger workspace when I do this on Friday mornings, but I'm just, you know, it's the way it is. All right, ink these little babies up, And I'm going to put them in right like this. Look at that. How cute is that going to be? And then I need to do it on this one too because I didn't make an envelope for my sample. So we're going to do it right now. There we go. Envelopes are done. The bats are where they're supposed to be. Let me get this piece adhered to the inside. And then we have our 2 cards for this week. I can't even believe this is week number 7 for our Christmas in August. We went from July to August. And then it'll be September. Whew. Back to school for the Munchkins. There we go. How is that? How cute is that? And here is the envelope that goes with it. And there we have this card for this week, Halloween. And then we have this one for Christmas. Christmas in August, number 7. So that is it, my friends, for this week. Let's see if I can fix this a little bit. That was crazy that my stand almost toppled over on me. Anyway, it's good. It's all good. Jan, thank you so much for popping in this morning. I know I have a bunch of other people who are going to be watching replays later on, which is fine. But I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you like the cards. And we will see you next Friday for number 8. Number 8, Christmas in August, number 8. Whew. I know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to tell you. I haven't designed it yet, but it's really going to be pretty. Okay, I appreciate your support, everyone. Thank you so much for following me. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday. Namaste, my friends.